Everything we see today was created twice, once in the mind and then once in the physical. And I think that's why a lot of God's standards begin internally. For example, hatred is counted as murder. Lust is counted as adultery. Because once you think it, it's easy for you to become it. At that point, most of the work is already done. Yo, what's goody, what's goody, what's goody? It's your boy, Paul Bernard II, also known as PB. Thank you for tuning in. I've been a full-time content creator and entrepreneur for about the last 5 years. And today I want to talk about letting God control your thoughts. If you're anything like me, mental battles, overthinking is one of the biggest parts of your life. This is something I've struggled with for years, honestly, as early as my teenage years. Just the process of internal battles in my mind. For the longest, I didn't understand how to control my thoughts, and I didn't even believe that my thoughts could be controlled. But what I want to share with you today is how I allowed God to control my thoughts. So one of my biggest lessons along this journey of learning to control my thoughts was the understanding that we cannot kill thoughts simply by willpower. If we have a thought of sin, if we have an idea, a certain temptation, we can't just simply say, oh, I want to stop having this thought. It's not as simple as that. There's a specific Bible verse that addresses this and actually comes out of Romans 12, verse 2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. So right there, Paul is telling us that we will be transformed by the renewal of our mind. That means the thoughts that we have right now, the sinful thoughts, even the thoughts that the devil plants in your mind, they have to be transformed. They have to be replaced. You have to replace your way of thinking and your thoughts and kill out the root to your thoughts. For example, we all experience emotions, and especially if you're a Christian, I'm sure that you felt the weight of sin, that you just committed a sin and you feel internally, man, I hate this. I feel terrible. I feel the weight of me hurting God and I just want to stop. That's an emotion. But the thing is, if we're addicted to sin, if we keep falling into sin, that means that there's some type of chemical connection in our brain that is telling us that it is rewarding to do this sin. I have a friend who has struggled with drug abuse for a long time. And one thing he told me one time is, hey, Paul, don't do drugs because they're extremely fun. And at the time I laughed at the comment, but now that I think about it, I understand that the reason he kept falling into drug abuse is because in his brain, he actually thought that it was fun. So what we need to do is connect the idea of satisfaction to something else than whatever negative sin that we connect that to. Here's the crazy thing about our brains. Our brains are not biased to what fires off dopamine. Dopamine is dopamine in our brain, right? So we need to change the feeling of satisfaction, the feeling of gratification from lust to now self-control. You can actually chemically change the makeup of your brain. You can train your brain to only be satisfied when it participates in self-control or in prayer or in Bible reading or receiving a good word. Because if you continually tell your brain that it's satisfied when it partakes in pornography and masturbation and drugs and lying and anything that is unrighteous, then your brain is going to continually tempt you to do those things because your brain is firing off and telling you, hey man, we haven't felt this feeling in a long time. We should do it. We should do it. We should do it. And that is how you get tempted. But in order to change that thought, you have to replace it so that your brain actually sees that sin as negative and now sees the righteous things, the way of God, as positive. Every single day, whether you like it or not, your brain is being developed. Every single day, your brain is being influenced. As you consume things of the world, as you consume things in your environment, in your surroundings, on social media, your brain is starting to develop its philosophy. So if you are not actively practicing what Paul said in Romans and transforming yourself by renewing your mind through Bible reading, through studying the Bible, through prayer, through serving, through going to church, through listening to sermons, receiving a good word, if you're not actively doing that to combat everything that your brain is absorbing that's not of Christ, then you are going to further conform to what your brain is consuming. Remember the truth in this all. An idea, a thought cannot be killed simply by willpower. You can't wish a thought away. You're just going to hurt yourself and stress yourself out by doing that. But through renewing your mind, you will be able to transform your thoughts. And that is the power that God has given us through free will, to be able to take a hold of our thoughts, to take capture our thoughts and make them obedient to righteousness. If you're someone like me that struggles with anxiety attacks, depression, overthinking, any type of mental battle, I want you to take that first step and say a prayer to God and just ask him, hey God, I want to take a hold of my thoughts and I want to renew my mind. Can you please help me? Can you please be Lord over my life? Start with that prayer and then watch how God works in your life and allow him to work in your life. It is not going to be comfortable. Unlearning different things that your brain has already learned and then replacing it with new things, basically changing the identity of your being and altering your chemical makeup in your brain, is not an easy thing to do. But with God, it is possible. And trust me, it is 100% worth it. I hope that this message encouraged you and helped you today. I love y'all very much. Please make sure to like, share, comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Give me some feedback. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.